We are now live. What's good, everybody? It's your boy Tenzin, one
What's
third of
going
the
on, brother?
SOS podcast. Below me is B, uh,
What's up? What's up?
another third of the SOS, and returning. See, I love when guests return to the show because we don't gotta do the formalities and none of that shit. But anyway, returning to the show, round two, we got Daraine Delevante coming to educate us some more on financial literacy and getting that credit cleaned up. Welcome back, my friend.
What's going on, brother? Thank you for having me. So, for those of you here that are new and you didn't see the first episode, you got to go watch the first episode. My name is Daraine Delevante. I'm a consumer law expert. I teach people how to repair, rebuild, restore their own credit using consumer laws. I also teach consultants and business owners and credit repair businesses and their owners how to grow and scale their credit repair businesses using four key principles: lead generation, client conversion, continuity, and client ascension. So those four principles can scale any business once you implement them and you follow the fundamentals. All right, so that's what I do in a nutshell. And tonight I'll be breaking down some game to y'all on credit. Be breaking down game to you on late payment, charge-offs, student loans, collections. As much time as we have in the allotted time that we have, I'll be breaking down all things credit, all things consumer law, so you can become the educated consumer, because an educated consumer is a dangerous consumer. Back to you, T. What's going on?
All right, all right. So speaking of being educated, so matter of fact, like I remember I brought this up to you, not on your last visit, but I think the visit before last when you came to the job. Like now this is just from my own personal view, so I don't know like the real
Mhm.
statistics, but I was noticing, yeah, like a lot of islanders are coming in getting sued by these companies. So I'm wondering, like, cause I remember you said as an immigrant you were preyed upon. So I wonder, is that like a thing? Like, are immigrants just preyed upon when it comes to like credit and stuff like that, or like what's going on?
So the answer to that is yes and no, right? Yes, in the sense where, okay, we are immigrants, we just got here, we don't know the laws of the land yet. So not knowing the laws of the land kind of strategically put us at a disadvantage with the system. And the system knows that it can get the most money from people with bad credit. So
Mhm.
if we know immigrants are coming in and we know they're going into these black and brown neighborhoods, did you know that the population that has the baddest credit in America is black and brown people?
Yeah,
Did you
I'm one of
also
them.
know that the communities that are most likely to have the lowest income and the lowest home prices are black and brown communities?
Yeah.
Did
Right.
you also know that the biggest spenders in this nation are black and brown people?
Yeah.
The
Mm-hmm.
biggest consumers in this world is black and brown people. The worst school districts in this nation, black and brown communities. So we undereducate them, but at the same time, we teach them how to become the biggest consumers. So all that money that they work, that they go, they spend over time, they're working three, four jobs to get. We will have them spend it all on things that they don't need because they want to feel some self-worth. So we're gonna have them buy the Louis Vuitton, buy the Gucci, buy the Prada, the Chanel, to look like somebody that they see on TV, that is it, that's popping with all these jewelry, gold chains, and all these things on, putting all of this to hide whatever insecurities they may have. So I can show you, my brother, that I'm better than you because look over here, I'm wearing a Louis Vuitton or a Gucci, but you still live in a one bedroom in the projects. You still are driving that car from 1996. You
Right.
weren't taught financial literacy, because if you learn that there's a system that is built on credit, well, all that money that you're wasting, you would have gone to go fix your credit.
Right.
Fixing your credit means now you can fix your zip code. Fixing your zip code means now you can get better lending approvals for credit cards, personal loans, auto loans, whatever. right? That also means you're going to be paying lower interest rates because you have better credit.
Right.
But because immigrants are not educated on how the system works, oftentimes they become the victims of subprime lending.
Mm. Wow.
That was a
Yeah,
lot,
and
right?
oh yeah, and well, with Black Americans, right? Of course, that the long, painful history of slavery and the redlining and all that causing our schools to be bad. Yeah, it definitely plays hand in hand to the lack of education that we get.
But it was strategically done.
Hmm.
It wasn't an accident. It wasn't by chance.
Right.
Black and brown schools are the least funded. They are.
Hmm. Due to the property tax, right? Like,
Property taxes, all that, all the
Right.
excuses they want to use.
hmm
But these schools are the least funded schools. Mean least funded mean lower availability or access to quality resources.
Right.
So no resources, no quality resources, then they're not going to be educated. All of them think credit is bad. So next thing we're gonna strive for is to have now these elaborate black people and black and brown people, and then now we're gonna pair them with a light-skinned wife or something or someone. So now other people aspire to be like them. So now they're going to go out, they're going to buy the cars, right? They don't have the credit, but they have the down payment because what? We're working 3 and 4 jobs. So we
Right.
can come up with the down payment, put the down payment down. So now they're going to extend the months that the term of the auto loan is going to go for at a
Right.
high interest rate, normally double digits, which is criminal in most cases that
Right.
are in excess of that state's usury law.
Right.
So this has been planned, and most people don't know that some of the accounts that they're being sued on by debt collectors, and debt collectors are winning default judgments. Some of those accounts aren't even owned by the debt collector. Some of these accounts probably passed the statute of limitations. Some of
Right.
these accounts weren't even disputed. Some of these accounts are old accounts. But because you don't know the things that you don't know, the things that like the people that know the things that you don't know will use the things that you don't know against you because you don't know it.
Right.
Right.
Crazy system, I know.
Yeah, it's insane. Insane. Yeah. And I like what you mentioned too about like how when it comes to credit, people either, yeah, especially when amongst black folks, they either, let's say, are taught to abuse it or taught not to trust it.
Mm.
Like
Yeah, like the two extremes.
right. I mean, like I know with me, I still have a bit of that. Like I've tried to do certain things to try to get out of that, but for the most part, I still have that mindset of like I don't want to use credit or use it too much because I've seen people from going off on the other extreme become hurt by that abuse and then put them and their kids and grandkids and stuff in terrible financial situations because of it. Or even if they weren't abusing it, they got misled, like you were saying earlier, too, in the case to overuse it, not understanding that they were abusing it, not abusing it under like out of maliciousness, to the point that yeah, they ended up getting tricked and into debt. You know what I mean? So yeah, I thought that was interesting that you brought that up too. And
Well,
so, oh, sorry, go ahead, sir.
debt isn't bad. Debt isn't good. Debt is a tool. How the tool is being used, now that's where the outcome is, right?
Right,
How the tool is being used, just like a weapon, just like a gun, right? Where's my gun? Somewhere. All right. A weapon by itself is nothing. It's just a hunk of
right,
metal and rubber. In the right hands, that weapon can save thousands of people. In
right,
the wrong hands, it can do significant harm.
Oh.
So there's good debt and there's bad debt.
right,
See, we've been conditioned to follow the blueprint of bad debt, meaning
Mm-hmm.
debt that buys liability that you have to pay for, versus our counterparts who were taught how to use debt, credit cards, personal loans, all these things to buy assets and then have those assets pay the debt back.
Right.
So while those assets are paying the debt back, they're gaining equity. They can do
Mm-hmm.
cash out refinances, and that debt is also producing cash flow, which is putting money in their pockets. So it's not the debt that's the problem. It's how it's being used and the education behind the person using this debt.
Right.
That's the education we never got, because that's an education that happens in the home, not in school.
Right.
But guess what we have? We got the television that's telling
Right.
us to be the Real Housewives of Atlanta, Miami, California, Hollywood. We have the Me Too movement. Oh, I'm a woman, hear me roar. I don't need a man. And then we have broken homes. So if we have broken homes, where is that financial education going to come from?
Mm-hmm.
Where all our men are in prison. We start calling all our men they, them, him, all of those pronouns. Where the hell did that come from? Our men don't want to be men no more. Our kids don't want to be kids no more. So, do you understand that there's a big lack and a big gap in home economics? Economics being taught inside the home. It's not there anymore. There are no homes anymore. So, the kid is going to grow up knowing nothing about business, knowing nothing about credit, knowing nothing about finances, knowing nothing about good and bad debt. So they're going to fall in the same perpetual cycle of living like the Joneses, living above your means, robbing Peter to pay Paul, in a never ending cycle of having 3 jobs, but yet you still can't make it.
So, what are some of the hmm. So, like, what are some of the advantageous strategies one can do with their debts?
Well,
Like, I
first
know
thing they
you
need
said
to do is tune into a podcast like this. That's number one. Get educated, because an educated consumer becomes a dangerous consumer. A person that does not know their rights have no rights. If you don't know it's there, how are you going to use it? So the first thing they need to do is get on game. They need to tune into the podcast. They need to hit that subscribe button, right? And tune into the podcast. Next is admit that I have a problem and I'm the only one that can fix it. I lack the knowledge of financial literacy. I lack good credit. I lack this. Okay, so if I recognize that I'm lacking some stuff, well, the next obvious thing would be, how do I fix it? How do I fix my bad credit situation? Well, maybe you want to learn about credit. That's a start. So now I preemptively start learning about credit. I'm going to learn about the 5 factors of FICO: payment history, utilization, age of credit, new credit, mixture of credit. Okay, how does that overall contribute to my credit profile? Well, payment history makes up 35%, utilization makes up 30%. My age of credit makes up 15, my mixture is 10, my new credit is 10. So I got 35, 30, 15, 10, 10. And I also know that the FICO score ranges from 300 to 850. That gives me 550 points. So that means 35% of my credit score, my FICO score, that accounts on this 300 to 850 chart, gives me about 192 FICO points, right? So at 30%, I know that's 165 FICO points. At 15%, I know that's 82.5 points. At 10%, I know that's 55 points. At 10%, I know that's 55 points. So now I got I have 550 points. So if I maximize on payment history, which is 35% and 192.5 points, plus paid on my utilization using the snowball method, I can literally maximize on 355. Well, 357.5 points. Well, 357.5 points with a 500 credit score puts you over 800 if you just take care of payment history by deleting the late payments and paying on your utilization.
Ooh, hold on now, Daraine. You just I'm not gonna lie. You spoke some German to us here. So let's back this up.
Yeah.
So you said now the FICO score. You said it comes down to payment history,
Yes,
the
it's
age
broken
of
down
the
into
credit,
5 parts:
the age of the
Mhm.
credit,
payment
the
history,
utilization.
utilization,
Mhm.
age, mixture of credit, the type of accounts you have, like student loans, bank loans, auto loans,
Okay.
mortgages. That's the
Okay.
mix. And then
Okay.
the new credit is how often do you apply for credit or inquiries. That's the fifth category,
Okay.
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 right? So those categories, there's this percentages that's associated with them: 35% for late for payment history, 30% for utilization. Excuse me. Your age is 15%, and then your mixture is 10%, and your new credit is 10%. So all of that adds up to 100%, but the 100% is also equal to 550 points because the credit score ranges from 300 to 850. So when you subtract the two, a consumer for 100%, they're maximizing on 550 points.
Ooh, all right. To our viewers at home, please have a pen and paper with you because
Yeah.
we're in for the long haul. Now, you did, and forgive me if I misrepresent what you say. I'm trying to understand it. Now, you did say now someone can have a 500 credit score, but if the FICO score is pretty good, then that can bump them up.
Well, no. So let's say that you have a 500 credit score, right?
Uh huh.
Right.
And you have late payments and you're maxed out on your credit cards. Paying down your credit cards to 5% or below and deleting your late payments could potentially bring you back 357.5 points. Because when you look at the payment history category, that
Okay.
accounts for 192.5 points. When you look at utilization, that accounts for 165 points. So if your utilization is down, meaning now you maximize on those points, and your late payments are deleted, so no more late payments, you're at 100% payment history, you are maximizing on two categories that could give you up to 357.5 points. So 350 something points plus 500, that puts you back in the 800s.
Now, I was going to ask too. You mentioned a lot about deleting your late payments. Now, how exactly does that happen? Like, how do, like, what is that process in terms of deleting your late payments?
So when it comes to late payment, we need to understand, does a late payment really exist?
Are you talking about in terms of like paying off like your credit cards and stuff, or just in general?
In general, is there a late payment?
Well, I guess I mean if you if you haven't paid by the certain date, wouldn't that then be considered late?
Are you sure?
Well, I don't know. That's the way I always thought about it. If you don't, for instance, I recently had
Who told you that?
recently I had an issue with like one of my utilities with a late payment. I had to
Mhm.
pay. They said I had paid by a certain date. I missed the date by a couple days, and then so the payment
Hey,
was considered late. You know, so
he
It
said
was
no, yeah.
considered late, but that does that make the payment late?
I don't know that. I don't know.
All right.
That's for people like you and the company to figure out.
So the law says this: 15 USC 1666B, timing of payments. A creditor cannot treat a payment as late on an open end consumer credit plan for any purpose unless the creditor adopts reasonable procedures, right, to send periodic statements, and the periodic statements being sent must have information from Section 1637B. This information needs to be either mailed or delivered to the consumer not later than 21 days before the payment due date.
Okay.
Now, the law requires four things for a payment to be treated as late. Let me ask you a question. Did they send you a periodic statement?
So like a bill? Yeah, I mean, I get a bill every month.
Okay. Does that periodic statement has all the information from Section 1637B?
Without it, I wouldn't know that. No.
Right.
You need to check on that.
Yeah.
Was it mailed or delivered to you 21 days before your payment due date? 21 days or less before your
Now,
payment due date.
now are we talking calendar or business?
Days. It says
So
days. It was
calendar days, right?
calendar days. It did not
Okay.
say business days. It says
Right.
21 days. So we're talking calendar days.
Yeah, I see that. I don't know. And like I said, this was like last month, so I can't
That's
truly
my
remember.
point.
Yeah.
So without these things being done, a payment cannot be late.
So I'm sorry. So is this based on when you actually receive it, like when the mailman puts it in the mailbox, or is
Right.
it
Well,
when
the
they
law
send
says you must receive it.
it? Okay.
Not receive. The law says it must be delivered. Delivered, meaning in my possession, delivered.
Right.
Not later than 21 days before your payment due date. So when I count 21 days back
Right.
from my payment due date, that letter should have came before I hit the 21 days.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All the stuff that's required.
Yeah.
And remember now, a late payment is negative information, and there's a law that governs negative information. And the law says this: if a financial institution is going to put a negative item or negative notice on your credit, they have to send you what is called a negative information notice. This
All right.
negative information notice must be sent either prior to the late payment going on your credit or within 30 days of the late payment going on your credit. So there are 5 requirements. How many requirements?
5.
There's 5 requirements for a creditor to meet the standard for a late payment to go on your credit.
Okay.
Without these 5 factors, a late payment does not exist because it would not have been compliant with the law. And
Right.
15 USC 1681 EB says a consumer reporting agency must ensure that they have a reasonable procedure to ensure that the consumer report being furnished has maximum possible accuracy.
Ooh. You know,
15
with the US,
USC 1681 S2A, S2B also says that a furnisher, which is a bank, a collection agency, a furnisher of information, they are prohibited from reporting information that they know that is inaccurate.
Mhm.
So if they did not send out all the notices and the requirements for the payment to be late,
Right.
if they're furnishing a late payment, that is non-compliant. That is inaccurate information.
Right.
Therefore, a late payment only exists because the consumer lets the late payment exist because they don't know what they don't know. And the
Right.
people that know the things that they don't know will use the things they don't know against them because they don't know it.
Right.
so with the mail running slow as fuck, then that means don't nobody have late payments, right?
The late payment exists because most people let it exist. They refuse to challenge
Right.
it, and they want to send in goodwill letters and beg creditors to
Right.
please forgive me. I was never late. I've been a good customer. My dog died. My brother had a funeral. What? No, guy, no.
But Daraine, I'm just this small man versus this billion-dollar company. Like, what the fuck can I do?
Well, the fuck that you can do is, like I said earlier, tune into the podcast. Get your education up. Read the laws. A person that does not know their rights have no rights. So when you become educated, I got you, my brother. When you become educated on the things to protect you, you will start to see that when you change the things you look at, the things you look at will also change.
Mhm. Yeah, I was just gonna ask. So I know what you were saying about like like about like the grounds for like a late payment being deleted. So how do you go about actually getting it deleted? Like, do you contact the person who sends you the bill, or like how's that work? Like, you contact them, you contact the bank, like what how does that process go?
So that's a good question. So I have a lot of dispute letters. I've made over probably 300 dispute letters, right? So the first place somebody that's watching this need to go is, well, the link is going to be in the description anyway for my website and the late payment, right? The link will be in the description.
Okay.
You go to DaraineDelevante.com. You go to DaraineDelevante.com. And once you go to DaraineDelevante.com, you're going to hit the store button. Once you hit
Okay.
store, it's going to bring you to the digital products. Just go to the search bar, type in late payments. There's going to be a template, and you can get the late payment deletion guide. The dispute letters that you're going to send out must be made specifically using the laws. That's how we get our deletions. Now, it must be addressed to 4 entities: the creditor, whoever the creditor is, Capital One, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, whoever the creditor is. But it
Right.
must also go to the 3 consumer reporting agencies: TransUnion, Experian, Equifax. All 3 needs to receive the dispute as long as the late payment is being reported on all 3. Because remember, not all banks report to all consumer reporting agencies. Some of them only report to one.
Right.
So you have to know which consumer reporting agencies is my information being reported to. And by knowing that, then no, I'm going to initiate my round 1 dispute.
Right. Okay. Okay. All right. Cool. And then, what is it now? In your experience, how long does it usually take uh for those disputes to like either go through or get accepted? Like how long does it usually take for those late payments to start getting cleared off somebody's record?
All right. So I can't make promises on anyone, but I can
Right.
tell you about previous results that I have had and my students have had, right?
Right.
The fastest late payment on a record that we have is 1 hour and 30 minutes. That's the
Wow.
fastest late payment we have. And that was done over the phone using the late payment deletion script, right?
Okay.
Now, when we send off letters in the mail, we see results anywhere from 7 to 30 days. This is what
Okay.
we're getting. I can't make promises for nobody else, but these is what we're seeing. Sometimes they do come back as verified, validated, accurate, but now we ask them for all the things that they're supposed to provide to us. We also notice that once we do that, they just delete the item because they don't have proof that
Really?
these
Right.
items were sent out.
Hmm.
Okay.
If you
Okay.
can't prove it, they have to remove it.
Right.
I like that.
Right.
So I guess, like, so I think that's like one of the main things, obviously the knowledge part, but I guess like getting over the fear of these companies too, because I know a lot of people, they come in, they just say, I agree, which I'm pretty sure they're just afraid. Oh, I see those answers, Daraine. I see
Oh,
those answers. They just agree to it. But so they're, I mean, because like as I was I was joking around, but yeah, like these $1 billion companies scare the shit out of folks, and so they find out they're being sued. They're like, oh, so it's like they got to take that deep breath and be like,
Right.
and maybe find some answers, because a lot of people do tell me, yo, this, I don't even remember this shit.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's like I've, because obviously these companies definitely use their wealth to bully the consumer, but
absolutely.
hearing you know but just hearing how quick they'll fold,
Right.
like once you just name at least one code at them. So, and that's the, and I guess that's what makes it so tragic. It's like, I mean, hell, I mean, I kind of knew about that because I've seen my mom like dispute late payments, but yeah, a lot of people
Mhm.
just don't know that, and then they'll just agree to whatever, what is it, LV,
LVNV.
Yeah, those
I
evil
just had one of
motherfuckers.
my
Like,
students won an
you
LVNV
know.
lawsuit. He was being sued by LVNV, and they had to drop that lawsuit in court,
Now,
dismiss
for
prejudice.
real quick, can you describe LV&V real quick?
Oh, so for those of you that don't know, LVNV is a debt collector.
Okay.
They buy debts, and they are debt buyers, they are debt collectors, and they also does sometimes debt service works, meaning that they'll take an assignment of an account that's deemed for collection by a financial institution. They'll take an assignment of it and then pursue collection activities on behalf of that institution, or they may just buy the account that they don't even own, buy
Right.
the account, sell it back to, like, the whole debt collection game is a dirty business. It's a profitable business, but it's
Right.
a dirty business. And the person left getting the short end of the stick is the consumer, who
Right.
is uneducated about their ways, their practices, and
Right.
how to defend themselves when these things, or should these things, arise.
Right. Yeah, my mom, she'd always said, and I don't know if this is sound advice or not, but she always, she always tries to pay her debts. But she said if she ever has an outstanding debt and it gets sent to a debt collection agency, she said at that point you might as well just let it go because because at that point, once the debt collection agency has it, you're paying that agency, not the actual entity. So she, like I said, it hasn't happened to her a lot, but she said that if it ever gets to the point where the debt collection agency has it and they send the letters and trying to call and everything, she just lets it go. And whatever happens, gonna happen.
And that's the problem with a lot of black and brown people. You see, because we don't know our rights, we normally just, Jesus take the wheel.
Yeah.
He's not going to take the wheel. God help those that help themselves. You got to help yourself. Faith without works is dead. So what we need to do is find, so a debt collector, it's legal. Any of you right now can go and become a debt collector. You can
Right.
go and start buying bad debt and then pursue to collect these debts. It's an open market. Anybody can do it,
Right.
right? So as long as you're following the law and you're doing it legally, you can. But the collection companies know that most people don't know the law.
Right.
And because they don't know the law, the collection companies get these debts for pennies on the dollar. So for every dollar, they're probably paying 10 cents on a dollar.
Wow.
So let's say that they bought an account for so they bought a portfolio, right? And the
Right.
portfolio has an amount of, say, $10,000 worth of debt, right?
Right.
And one of the accounts in this portfolio belonged to Tenzin. Tenzin in this portfolio account owes allegedly $1,000. They paid probably $80 for Tenzin account, right?
Right.
Now they're going to go after Tenzin for the full $1,000. Why? Because it is
Profit.
here that Tenzin allegedly owes $1,000, and they're going to go after that tooth and nail, right? Now, when they see that Tenzin is an educated consumer, what they'll normally do now is they'll back down, or they'll say, hey, we can settle this for less than what it's worth. So if the account is 1,000, hey, Tenzin, if you got 300, we'll take it and we'll go about our business. But what Tenzin knows is that he's smart enough to say, oh no, I want a pay for deletion. I just don't want to pay you. I want to do what is called a pay for deletion, and you're going to give me in writing that after I pay this account, you will mark it as paid in full, and you will also delete it from my consumer report and not resell this debt to any debt collector.
Right.
Wait. Now, hold on. Now, when you say resell, so you mean I can pay it, but they'll
Yeah, but
sell it.
there's
To
the
someone else.
deficit. It's paid for less than what it's currently owed.
Oh, okay. I was like, hold on now.
So
Wait,
they
can
could
sell it again?
possibly, I'm not saying that they're going to do it, but debt collectors are known to sell other debt collectors other accounts.
Right. So I guess what I'm hearing is you shouldn't ignore it, but you shouldn't.
Let me give you another reason why you shouldn't
Yeah.
ignore it, and I'm glad we're
Okay.
still on this topic of ignoring it. If you ignore it, what's going to happen is you're going to show up to Tenzin's job, right? You're going to show up there not having no clue of what just happened. And even if you didn't make it there, you're going to get what is called a default judgment, where the debt collector is still going to bring they're going to bring the collection activities to court. Basically, you're going to sue.
Yeah.
And when you don't show up to court, they're going to ask the judge for what is called a default judgment, a failure to appear, whatever.
Right.
And you're going to get that default judgment. And then they're going to turn that default judgment now into garnishment or a levy, where they can now come after bank accounts. And guess what? They're going to look on your credit reports. They're going to see that you work at ABC Solutions. Then they're going to send ABC Solutions a copy, a certified copy of the order for garnishment, and then they're going to start getting in your paycheck.
Yeah.
God damn, that's evil, but I love it. But I don't love it actually, but shit. That's like the legal version of the mafia. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Literally.
you watch The Sopranos, right? You know, Tony will just keep the interest up. Like
Right.
once you owe Tony, you owe him forever. So wow, that's crazy work.
Yeah.
Crazy work. But thank goodness for people like Daraine Delevante who who has the resources available for people to find and to be brave enough to stand up to these companies and be like, hey, you're not gonna rob me no more.
Now, how would you, let's say you didn't know that your debt had been bought by these collection agencies, or there was a bunch that you had that you didn't know that you had against you. How would you go about finding out which agencies have your money and how much you owe, and then B, how would you go about trying to pay that?
Well, first of all, I'm not paying shit. That's number one. Second thing is, the first thing a consumer has to do is pull their reports. You will not know what you're up against until you see what's on the report. So you go to annualcreditreport.com, get a free copy of your consumer report. Then you pull the consumer report. Then it's time to go over it. You're going to use a highlighter. You're going to use a pen. You're going to go through it. You're going to highlight all the things on there that does not belong to you: inaccurate names, outdated addresses, phone numbers, emails, jobs. You're going to delete all those stuff. You want to look if there's names on there that don't even belong to you, because chances are you could be a victim of identity theft. You want to look for different social security numbers on your credit report. Why? Because that could show that there's other people's information on your credit and you have what is called a mixed file. So someone that has a name similar to yours, they mixed your file in. So you'll see accounts on your credit that don't even belong to you, and debt collectors are suing you on accounts that don't even belong to you, all because you have somebody else's name or you have a common name, and it's just a mess how much debt collectors get away with murder.
And you said that's annualcreditreport.com, right?
Yep. You go to annualcreditreport.com, get a free copy of your credit report, buy yourself a highlighter. It's for like $1. And you go through that baby with a magnifying glass, and you find everything that is inaccurate, incomplete, outdated, that does not belong to you: names, addresses, phone numbers, social accounts, the whole works.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Once you know what is there, then you will know what to dispute. Go ahead, Tenton.
Oh no, I was just saying it's crazy that you can get sued for someone else's shit. I'm like, damn, I ain't even about that. Yes, like, that's crazy. Man.
Remember, I know there's a term called prima facie. You know what that means, Tenton?
Prima facie? No.
Yeah. So you are guilty by what is put inside of these documents until you prove otherwise.
Right.
So if I put in a court document saying Tenzin owes me $1 million, it is in your best interest to go to the same court, file your answer on why I don't owe you. Because if you don't, and I get this judgment, you now owe me and you got to pay up, or I'm going to sue you. I am going to put a lien on you. I'm going to go after whatever assets you have. I'm going to ask for a default judgment. I'm going to ask to levy bank accounts.
Well, I will say, so like let's just say a process server, marshal, whatever, hands me that suit, that claim, that summons. I'm looking at it. What the fuck is this? Like, so yeah, obviously it'll behoove me to go and answer. You
Mhm.
know, you know. So, but now within that answer, I could write, let's just say, I got the highlighter, fine tooth combed it. Like, hey, that's not even my name, assholes. Get the fuck out of here. Obviously, you can't write that, but you could say, yeah, that's not a familiar name to me. I don't recognize the social security number. I don't even think this is my dad. And like from that answer alone, like, could they just be like, oh, well, shit. Well,
Well, that's not how you would answer a statement of claim or a summons. See, the statement of claims is going to have paragraphs, right? And a copy of a statement of claim will look something like, where is my statement of claim? Let me find a copy. Okay. So a statement of claim will look something like this, right? It's going to look something like this.
Right.
And then it's going to have a whole bunch of paragraphs. You have to respond to all of these paragraphs. So the right way to answer a statement of claim is either you admit, you deny, or you deny because you lack sufficient evidence to admit.
Mm.
So what people are doing, they're saying, oh, I never owed this debt. I was sick. I was out of town. Sorry, I missed the payment. My dog, the judge don't like the judge. They're sympathetic,
right.
but that's not how you answer a statement of claim, or that's not how you answer a summons. You either
Mhm.
admit to it, you deny, or you lack sufficient information, so you deny.
Okay.
And you do that for every single paragraph. So I'm not going to admit to anything. I am denying everything. I'm only admitting that my name is my name if they spelled it right. Because if it's
Right.
spelled wrong, I deny that is not my name. I have no idea who that is. I don't
Right.
know how that name is spelled. It's a
No,
lot.
that's
No.
yeah. I know that's the
I know. I was like, just had to let it cook up there. But so like with your students and everything, like
Mhm.
so or someone who might just let's just say, I just stumbled upon Daraine Delevante, your Instagram page, and I saw and I followed the links. I'm like, do I would a person come to you be like, hey, I'm currently being sued by
I get that every day, bro.
so and
I get
so, and
hundreds of those DMs every day. And for someone being sued, guys, you want my connoisseur program. So the
okay.
consumer law connoisseur program, that program teaches you now how to respond to a statement of claims or a summons, how to draft your statement of claim, how to do your answers,
Right.
how you get your rebuttals together, how do you put your case together, going into small claims court. Like that's what that program does. And you guys can get that program if you comment the word connoisseur. So
Yeah.
comment the word connoisseur or text the word connoisseur or paid. Text the word paid. Yeah, that's
Right.
easier for most people.
Yeah.
Comment the word paid or text the word paid to 917-993-5238. That's comment the word paid. I mean, text the word paid to 917-993-5238. Or if you go over to my Instagram, like between my Instagram, like all my social medias are loaded with content that could
Right.
keep you engaged for a year. No cap.
Right. Now, also too, I was going to ask. So, like, yeah, do you need like a lawyer or some type of legal representation when you go into these like courts?
So it's often recommended to get legal advice. However, it's not a requirement. You can go pro se.
Right.
Most people go pro se, but they lose as you know, 10 can tell you. They show up themselves and they don't know how to respond. And they go in there and they say, Your Honor, I was in a hospital, I
Right.
was sick for 3 weeks, I can barely serve. Like they're sympathetic, but that does not mean nothing.
Right.
right.
People need to learn how to defend themselves. Like they didn't even contest the debt. How do you not contest the validity of the debt? By
Right.
sending a notice of validations of debt. Let them validate the debt. And when they send you back the information, does the information that they send back constitutes a proper validation of debt? Was it on a model form B1? Did they send it? Did it have perforated edges? Did it has all the validation information, all 20 of it?
Right.
People just I know not everybody's going to know this information, but it's one of the reasons
Right.
why we do this podcast. And someone will rather go watch a cat video than to tune in for 45 minutes learning something that can literally change their life.
Right. No, no, I hear you. I hear you.
But like,
but
oh, go ahead.
oh, go ahead. No, 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 go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna ask. Like, is if your question was more related to the, I was just going to more ask him like, how does he like how do you I guess organize all the people who DM you and stuff? I know you get like, I know your phone just stay buzzing. So like, how do you
Oh, it's
like?
buzzing. I have an assistant. I have a social media
Okay,
assistant that sorts out the DMs and send me the important ones and stuff like that.
Okay.
okay, because I was going to wonder too, like how many like, cause you know. People on the internet be weird. So I'll be wondering how many times you might scroll through like "fuck you, Daraine." Oh, okay, I'm
Well, yeah,
blocked.
it's there, but give you bad credit.
Some random racist nigger. Like, oh, block. Okay,
Yeah,
like,
you'll get those.
Right.
You'll get those. And you know what? It's not my fault that they're undereducated and they're just stupid.
Right.
mhm.
But with great assignments come great devils. And if your
Ooh.
assignment wasn't great, the devil wouldn't be after you that much.
Yep.
Your assignment wouldn't be under attack if what you're delivering wasn't so great.
Yeah.
So being successful comes with haters. Let haters hate. They're doing their job. Who
Yep.
am I to put you out of a job?
I like that. Yeah, we all got a job to do.
Yep, your job is to hate. I am not here to put you out of a job, bro.
Yeah.
Like, hate.
Yo,
That's
that's
what's up.
good.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah,
But
no, that yeah. But yeah, no, and what was it? Now annualcreditreport.com. Now that's so yeah, so like so does that run through like Equifax and like what's the other two again?
TransUnion Experian. Yes, it's a government website.
Okay.
So this government website is linked in the database of TransUnion Equifax
you
Experian.
said this one is free.
Yes, it's free.
Okay.
Annualcreditreport.com.
Okay.
And when
You
you
said
go
it's the
there,
government website?
yeah, it's gonna have an icon like a social security card. There's a lot of spin-off to that website, tricking people to pay for credit reports. It's free. Annualcreditreport.com.
Okay.
It's a
Okay.
government website.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
cool.
I'm
Yeah,
definitely
I
buying my
never.
highlighter.
Yeah, no, I'd never heard of the website before, and so yeah, that'll give you your credit report. Now, that also gives you your credit score. Am I tripping?
Now, very good question. Your credit score and your credit reports are two completely different things. Your
Okay,
credit score cannot exist without your credit report, but your
right,
credit report is independent of a credit score. So when you
right,
go to annualcreditreport.com, it's going to give you a consumer report, meaning it's the information on there. Your consumer report does not equal a credit score.
okay. And how do you see that? Like, do you see like where do
How
you
do you see
go
what?
to? I guess your credit score,
You can
like,
go to my FICO. So my
right,
FICO, Fair Isaacs Corporation, they are the biggest player in the game that provides credit
right,
scores. Right? There's other ones out there like Vantage and stuff,
right,
but FICO is the biggest player in the game.
right.
95% of all users, of all lenders use them.
Okay,
And you go into my FICO, you'll see that you'll have like probably 5 to 6 different credit scores. There's a bank card score, there's a mortgage scores, there's
yeah,
an auto loan score, there's a FICO 8, FICO 9, FICO 10, FICO 10T. It's a lot of them out there, and they're all used for different purposes.
okay, okay. Cool. I just wanted to get that on record. That thing is different. That's all.
Yeah.
Okay. And what was it? I'm trying to think. I don't think I had any more questions. No, I think Tenzin, do you have something else to ask?
Yeah, my bad. I had to mute myself. This damn clock was going off. Yeah. So, more about, yeah, more questions about the business end of it. So, like, so what are your rates, Daraine? Like, as far as like when you're directly helping people or for a course.
So I'll do consultations. I don't do credit repair. So what I do is I teach people how to repair, rebuild, restore their own credit, and I teach people how to start their own credit repair businesses. So mine is a little bit different. There's different scholarships that I offer. There's different things that they can bundle and get special discounts. Like my birthday's coming up, so there's going to be a birthday special. There's a lot
Hold
of
on.
different.
What's your birthday, Daraine?
April 6th.
Okay, okay. April 6th. And
Yeah.
you gonna
So
be in you gonna be in Jamaica by then, right?
yeah, because I leave on Friday.
Ah,
So
damn. All right. I was going. Yeah. Let's get some rum. Let's get.
there's different things that people can do to get discounts, and there's consultations. There's a lot. Like once they go to DaraineDelevante.com and they click the icons, they'll see everything. They'll see how to join the university, how to join the mentorship. There's a $67 course. There's a $3,500 course. There's a $10,000 course. There's a $25,000 inner circle. Like there's different levels
Wait.
based on.
There's a course for 10K.
Yes, it's
Oh,
only 10,000 that I'm going to be teaching you how to start your own credit repair business. I'm going to be giving you all my templates, white label. I'm going to teach you how to use that template, use those templates to start your digital business. I'm going to now teach you how to use consumer law to start your own agency, credit repair disputes, how to get your first 5 to 10 clients, like all of that.
and Big John wanted to know: is there an in-person session? If so, how much are those?
Yes, I
For the
do
courses?
in-person sessions. Those are normally done at my conferences. I
Okay.
may not have a conference this year because I
Okay.
may be out of the country at that time. So normally I have a conference. Tickets range from 97 for virtual, 297 for general admission, VIP 550. If you want a brain picker session, that's 997, and that gives you access to the VIP. Like it's so much that
What
goes
what
into.
be the what be the I'm sorry to cut you off, but like what be
Turnout.
the yeah, the turnout.
Yeah, I
Thank
was
you.
just about to ask that.
The most I've had is 250 people.
God
Okay.
damn.
And where do you where what location do you usually host these conventions at?
Different locations. Last one was at the Marriott. Before that, it was at the Legacy Center. Before
Okay.
that, it was like somewhere else. So I've done 3 of them so far.
So these were all like local to Georgia or like
Yes, local to
okay.
Atlanta. Correct.
Okay.
Okay.
And Big John wanted to know what part of Jamaica you're going to.
What part he's
I'm
from?
Oh,
I'm
what
gonna
part
be
are you
in
from?
Manchester. I'm from Manchester.
Okay,
Manchester.
man. Hey, I'm so ignorant when it comes to Jamaica. The only
Right.
only thing I know is like what Kingston.
Kingston, yeah.
Yeah,
Me too.
like
Yeah, most people know Kingston and Montego Bay because those are where the 2 airports are.
Yeah.
And they'll know Ocho Rios now because there's another one over there. But these are the
right,
most popular tourist attraction places. But
right.
there's other places like where I'm at because I got a few business over there. Car wash.
Oh wow.
I have a car wash, chemical room, party rental, bar, mini mart.
Wow.
Yeah, I got a
So
few businesses over there.
so Manchester, like what? So is that like this is like east of Jamaica, like north, like what?
It's middle south, so it's in the middle but south.
Okay.
Mhm.
So is it like a lot of resorts around where y'all at,
Not
or
my area. The resorts are normally on the west, on the east, and the
okay?
north side of the country.
Okay.
All right. So Manchester's more like where you're
Country,
not gonna
yeah, like
see
in the
like
country.
okay. And
Yeah.
Big John said he was in the Grill, which I never heard of that city either.
That's
But
on the west side of the island.
okay.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, that's probably where all the resorts and stuff was
Yep,
at.
a lot of
Uh,
resorts on the west
yeah.
side. From the west side all the way back north, all the way east, lots of resorts on that side of the
Yeah.
island.
Now, is it hard for y'all to like hang out? Like, what? Why? I guess where you're at, you don't really got to worry about it too much. But like, is it rough for like native Jamaicans to like actually hang out and stuff because all the tourists and everything? Like, is
No,
there?
it blends in pretty good.
Yeah.
I've never had any issues.
Right, right. Okay. Oh no. That's
Mhm.
cool. I know because like I was thinking about like a lot like the Hawaiians. Like I know a lot of the
Oh
Hawaiians were
yeah.
complaining about that because they were saying like, over time, like a lot of the tourists and everything just kept coming in and encroaching on their land and everything like that. So yeah, I was just wondering if y'all had any issues when they.
Jamaicans, they welcome the tourists. They're smoking weed. They're drinking rum. They're river rafting, getting their mud bath. It's a whole thing, brother.
Man, that river rafting mudbed
That
shit
shit
is
is
so
wild.
crazy.
Yep.
Like,
They be
River
having
rafting
they
is
be
listen,
having a good
listen,
time.
they be talking about the passport bros going over to Asia. Ain't nobody looking at
Mhm.
them passport chicks going down there for the river
Oh.
rafting, bro. Like them bitches been able to skate because they ain't as loud with the shit,
Oh
but
yeah.
but they be going down there, bro. The shit I done
Oh.
seen, I'm like, yo,
Oh, we
Yeah,
like,
are. Oh, come on,
they
man.
get it in. They get it in.
Them soccer moms, they be saving up every year. Gary, I'm going to Jamaica. You can't come. Shit, I need to go there right now.
Yeah.
I'm
You know,
telling you, man,
It be like that sometimes.
it's crazy. Like, but yeah, no, I've always wanted to go. Like,
Yeah,
I
me
ain't
too.
done no real international traveling. Farthest outside the US I've been is Niagara Falls. But I've always wanted to go.
Get that
Like that's
passport, bro. Get it stamped
uh,
up. Become a passport,
yeah,
bro.
Big
Get
John
out the
said he
country,
he
bro.
was there during
Life,
Jamaican Independence Day, so I know you
yeah,
would.
life is different outside of this country. I promise you.
Mhm.
yeah,
The women
yeah.
are different. The food is different. The
The
culture is
food is
different.
definitely.
Like
I
the
could
way
speak to that,
people
Daraine.
treat you is different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like all this hostility over here, bro. You go overseas, man. They
Okay.
treat you
I
like
will say, somebody I knew who went. They said that they was warned not to go off the resorts though. Like they
uh,
was
yes and no. Just like when
yeah.
I moved to Atlanta, they told me not to go on the south side. They say don't
Oh,
go to the south
okay.
side or the west side. And y'all
Mhm.
know what I'm talking about. It's just like anywhere else. Like you go to Chicago, there's certain places you don't go. You go to
Right.
New York, there's certain places in the Bronx you don't go.
Right.
Right.
Bro, it's just like anywhere else. Know the places you're not supposed to go and don't go there.
Mhm.
That's true. No, no,
Every
you right.
country has the bad parts. Every country has their good parts.
Right.
So this negative light that people are trying to paint when it
Right.
comes to going international, oh, don't go to Colombia, you're gonna get kidnapped. Don't go to the kidnapping areas. Like don't like Mexico. No, there's a lot of drug cartels in Mexico. Well, don't go where the cartels are.
Right. Don't
Yeah,
be
that
fucking
was
with them.
like
Like
my
it's so simple.
my
Daraine,
cousin.
Yeah.
when you go to Atlanta, don't go to the south side, don't go to the west side. I'm not gonna go to find out, bro. I'm gonna stay
Right.
my ass
Yeah.
on the north side.
My cousin, she got married in Mexico about like I think a year or two ago. And well, the main reason we ain't go because we ain't had no damn money. I ain't gonna sit here in front. But another reason why my mom was hesitant to go was because she was hearing all these stories about people getting snatched out of the resorts and kidnapped and stuff. I think like around that time there was the story of this black family. They went down there and they was on some resort. And I don't know if it was on the resort or if it was like just kind of off the resort, but they all
A
got snatched
resort
up.
where security is, and you have to take an elevator past the
Right.
front desk. You got
Right. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Like I said, the story was they got grabbed up and I think they like got taken to the shack and then like they got killed or something. I don't know.
well,
But
This
people
happened
die every
recently,
day.
like a couple years back, sort of.
yeah, I want to say within the
Oh, I know
last
that.
like 2 to
I'm
3
familiar
years.
with that story because I ain't gonna hold you. I was a little surprised. I was like, damn, I didn't think they kidnapped us.
Yeah.
White folks, you know.
Yeah, and I know, and like my mom kind of fell into that whole trap of like being scared about that shit. You know what I mean? Like I said, we ain't have the money to go there, no way. But like,
Well, that's also logical. That's logical. What I'm
right,
saying is, you do your research before you go to places that
Yeah.
right,
you're not supposed to be. If you're not from some places, don't go there. Like I will
Mhm.
not go walk around the south side. I'm not gonna go walk around the west side. Like I'm not going there to find out. I was told, do not go to these places.
Right.
I'm not going.
Right.
I'm
Right.
not Captain. I'm not Superman, bro. I'm not gonna go there to go figure out what's there. I'm not gonna go there.
Yeah, see that is cut to your point. I think a lot of people do this weird thing where they go to different places, even not even just internationally, like even national travel too. People do this weird thing where they want to do like, I hate to say this term, but like ghetto tours or whatever.
I'm
Like
good.
like they be like, oh, I want to see the real part, nigga.
I'm good.
No. Like, I'm staying my black ass where the tourist is at. I ain't going nowhere else.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, now, like when I go places, I do want to see local areas, but yeah, I don't want to see
Yeah, but
like,
there are safe local
yeah,
areas
yeah,
too.
that's
Not
what
all
I'm saying.
local areas are
Yeah,
bad. And it's just like people paint picture of what they want to see.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Big
So
John brought up a thing. He said, "Don't come to Pittsburgh. They shoot, shank, and take your credit." Exactly.
that
Listen,
see,
Big John, no. That'd be
yeah,
like if somebody came here and was like, "Oh, take me to Garfield or take me to the Hill District or whatever." Like, no, like I'm not
like take
going
me to
over
you
Wilkinsburg.
see what I'm saying? So
there.
and it comes back to credit now where we need to fix these neighborhoods because like I everybody wants to be their best. Everybody wants to be the best version of themselves. Everybody wants to be rich. Everybody wants to be successful. Everybody wants to have an abundance of cash flow and money stacked up, right?
Right.
And we have to recognize that these neighborhoods that are doing these things, it's because of what? Lack. Lack is the true cause for any crime. Lacking something, wanting something that you don't have. That lack is the like the first sin ever created in the history was due to lack. You can eat off every tree in this garden except so that lack of being able to eat from that tree from the first sin.
Right.
It's not the lack of money. I mean, it's not the love of money that causes people to do things. It's a lack of it. You have so much, but I still lack the amount that I want. So I'm going to do notorious and crazy shit to get it.
Right. Yeah.
So
No,
when we identify the fact that these neighborhoods lack financial literacy, these neighborhoods lack the infrastructure to develop their minds, these neighborhoods lack the support that they need. That like nobody just want to live every day looking over their shoulders, putting their life at risk. People got things to do.
Yeah,
Nobody just want to be shot at every day. Come on, I'm gonna be tired of that. Like every day I got a duck. Like, come on,
Right.
bro. Nobody wants to live like that.
Right.
But society does not produce the tools or resources to get these people out. And they've had these people on welfare for so long that their minds now think that I have to take what belongs to somebody else. So until we go into our neighborhoods, teach them about financial literacy, teach them how to have access to lines of credit, business credit, personal credit, rebuild the schools, rebuild the neighborhood, get these property values back up, renovate the homes, pay the property taxes up, clean the yard up, boot these payday loans out of there, boot these fast food joints out of there, boot these pay here, buy here, pay here, these rent to own, send these fuckers from our communities so our communities can start to thrive again. Then people can have the what's it called? That feeling of ownership. They want
Pride.
that
Yeah, that's
what's
what
it
it is.
called?
It's pride. It's pride.
That pride of ownership. You know, my community is clean. My kids aren't running and jumping over needles and razors in the street, right? I know that my child can be outside at the playground and it's safe. I can go outside with my child and I know that it's safe.
Right.
Nobody, I refuse to believe anyone just want to live in a world where they're constantly on guard looking over their shoulder because some shit might happen. No, that shit is exhausting, bro.
Right.
Can you imagine if you're always on guard?
Right.
Like how exhausting that's going to be?
Right.
No, bro. No.
Well, with that being said, Brother Daraine, you definitely preached. And I think that's a great place to end it. So I just want to say thank you to everybody who tuned in. Please head over to Big John Show, to What They Want podcast. They're going to be up on Instagram. I don't know if they're up now or if they're about to be up. But yeah, please head over to Instagram, watch them. thank you, Daraine Delevante, for coming to speak to us
Most
today.
definitely.
Again, go to his website if you need any help. I'm probably gonna need some help myself because some of the stuff I brought up applied to me today. So,
Yeah, trust me.
but yeah, what is it? If it's your first time here, please don't make it your last. Please tell everybody about the show. Get more people to come hang out with us. Maybe we could talk to Brother Daraine. Shout out to Big John and 2BZ Beats in the chat. Thank you so much. Yeah, we do this every Wednesday at 8 p.m. We are a podcast run by three brothers. Our brother Los could be here today, but that's okay. Still got me, Most Dope. Or you got my brother Tenzin up in the corner. Yeah, thank y'all so much for hanging out with us. Come back next week again, 8 p.m. Eastern. We love y'all. Peace.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, held it.